So I'm honestly flabbergasted that this could even be a topic for a YouTube video. And as wild and unlikely as it seems, yet here we are. If there's anything I learned growing up with Pokemon, it's two things. The Pokemon games are incredible, but they draw some very, very weird people. Like, yes, I love Pokemon, and I'm weird. It gets darker than that. When you dive into the rabbit hole of, like, Pokemon content, it gets pretty dark, and it starts off with, like, random websites, and quickly ends in a really dark side of Reddit. But I'll show you exactly what I mean. So when you first go down this rabbit hole, you come across random websites like this one. This is tiermaker.com. People can essentially just make random tiers of things that they want the public to know. And of course, there is a hottest Pokemon tier list, community rankings. And it is as confusing as it is disturbing. So like you have the hottest row right here. So the hottest Pokemon for this community is Lopunny and Gardevoir. A Lucario, which is fucking crazy. Lucario, bro. But then you have a Salazzle. Like, it's a fucking lizard. I can't think of anything that's less attractive than a fucking reptile or an amphibian. I love them, but I don't see the sensual connection there. Then you go down a row and you have like the evolutions, including, you know, Vaporeon. And now mind you, the farther down this rabbit hole you go, the more you see Vaporeon is like a main target of this thing. If I was Vaporeon, I would be staying away from any human I've ever come across. But then you have a Ditto. Like a Ditto? Why is that not like number one? Ditto 1 could be like every Pokemon. Like you're versatile. For me, that's attractive. I meet a girl that can do tons of different things. I'm like, you know what? You might be the one, baby. Ditto could be a human, right? Like maybe it can be a human and that's more attractive if it looks like a fucking human, but I guess that's not what people are going for on these communities, I guess. And this is what confuses me. You only get 4 rows down and you already have a Charizard. Who the fuck is fetishizing a Charizard? It is a fucking dragon. It is a brute. I don't understand how anybody could even think about... Like, for me, that would be a last row, right? I'd take a thick-ass Snorlax before I fucking took a goddamn Charizard. That has to be a mythical wiener coming at you. I mean, just a fucking monster. This is insane, bro. Fucking insane, man. Bro, you really got him a champ, dude. They even got legendaries on this motherfucker. They're like, yeah, you know what? If we're talking power, raw power, I take a legendary all fucking day, dude. I don't know, man. This is a very weird... Then you have a Miltank, bro. Come on. And last row is Mr. Mime. Poor Mr. Mime. That is like the closest thing you can get to like anatomically correct. Do you think that would be like way up here on the list for like maybe the female watchers or the female community people? I don't fucking know, man, dude. And this is not just the only one, because then it keeps going. On tiermaker.com is a community of people that are just consistently ranking the hottest fucking Pokemon in their opinion, which is just crazy to me. So after seeing the random tiers people are making of like the hottest Pokemon, I was like, okay, I'm sold. I gotta look into this and see how deep this actually goes. And then I came across a link titled Pokemon Team for Every Kink. And of course, I was like, I gotta fucking click this, dude. And I was automatically met with this. A Pikachu wearing a Gimp outfit. Honestly, the image alone was enough for me. That's where I was like, you know what? That's all I have to see. I don't even have to read any of the shit on this site, but fuck it, we're going to. So it starts off with a little excerpt. Whenever I play a new Pokemon game, I build an all-native team. That is, I only use Pokemon who are new to this region. In the early stages, I'll catch returning Pokemon and make sure I have a viable team. But by the 6th gym, I expect to have at least 6 Mons. And the fact that he said Mons tells me that this man's in deep with Pokemon. This man is a Pokemoner, and this is probably going to be a pretty fucking sick post. So it goes on to talk about how his favorite Pokemon are not in this game, and he needs to come up with new ideas for a team. And what was his idea? He was going to make a team of sluts. But don't worry, he included a full list with images and explanations on why they're going to make the team of sluts. So first off, you have Lopunny, and he gave a nice little definition. Obviously... The fact that you just started off a paragraph explaining why this Pokemon is attractive and a slut, and you say obviously, is fucking insane, my guy. This information that you're about to give me, I know, is not obvious to most people. Lopunny has always been earmarked for this team right from the beginning. but she slides in easily to a team of kinkbait too. Whatever joke I could make about other things sliding in easily would never be as uncomfortable for you as me just pointing to the idea and letting you picture it. Bro, nobody is fucking picturing it. The fact that this man pictures this does not mean that anybody is picturing sliding into a fucking low punny, my god. Like, I'm gonna let you picture it. Like, get the fuck out of here. Just remember the next time you see a low punny that there are real people out there who would choose to have intercourse with this low punny over all other people or fictional characters. Dude, that is fucking wild. Low punny fills the furry fetish slot again. Picture it yourself. But add in the undeniable playboy feel to a giant sensual bunny and there was no one else but low punny. Bro. You gotta stop normalizing this, bro. There might be a whole community for this, but I swear to God, they are still the minority of the Pokemon community, bro. I don't know. You're making us look bad. Next up, you have Gardevoir. Of course. Another one who was nailed on from the fact that he said another one that was nailed for this team from the start tells me that this man's been thinking about this. Gardevoir takes the role of the increasingly popular mommy kink. Get the fuck. Look, while I'm listing reasons people want to bang Gardevoir, as if you don't know for a fact that most people do. Look, man, I do assume that there's people that want to bang Pokemon. I mean, there's people that want to bang anything. There's a guy that's in a relationship with his car. There's other dudes who are banging their phones to an AI bot. There's people into a lot of different stuff out there, but it's not as normal as you are thinking. Maybe for the people on this site, because that's why they're on this site, but for somebody on the outside doing it for a video, it's like, what the fuck? Alright, we're gonna skip on past that. Goodra? Are you fucking serious, my boy? A Goodra? That makes no sense to me. Now, this is where things get slightly more complicated. Yeah, dude. You're gonna have to explain this one, because the logic is not there for me. Goodra has always been a weird fetish bait, thanks to the fact that it wanders around like it just stumbled off a bukkake set. Bro. My man is referencing a lot of obscure, like, this dude's a freak. This dude's search history is nefarious. It has never been clear to me if the kink came from the idea that the liquid was in fact man liquid, or whether it was some wham-centric idea where just being covered in any sort of goo was enough to make people cover the insides of their own trousers. Bro, you were really painting a vivid picture. Like, if you didn't go down the path of, like, really sick Pokemon content, you might have been a good writer, my guy. Get the fuck out of here. Tasserine is not the only Pokemon to miss out here. Both Gothitelle and Hatterene, who could have filled the alt-girl slot on both teams, did not make it. Fear not, because Roserade, with their androgynous look and melodramatic affectations, is here to save the day. Obviously, as a little rose, Roserade would also fulfill any sort of pain kink too. Bro, what the fuck? Why is this shit obvious to you? He's like, obviously. No, if I see a Roserade or any fucking grass Pokemon, I'm thinking Growlithe. I'm thinking fucking Charmander, or if I'm in it, Charizard, bro, and I'm flaming that bitch. I'm not thinking, you know what? I could stick that rose stem in my asshole and have some fucking pleasure pain feeling. Nah, man, I don't know, man. Every rose has its thorn, and every Roserade has its spiked collars, or however the expression goes. Roserade is toxic, painful, and wildly unpredictable, and a little bit mean. They can play the dom or the bratty sub. They're every kinkster's dream. Alright, let's skip to— oh my god, I knew it. I'm surprised Vaporeon wasn't number one for this guy, because Vaporeon seems to be the kink for everybody in these communities. If you know, you know, and have my sympathy. Get the fuck away from me. Yo, the fact that he started it like that is insane, bro. Because if you know, then you do know, and Vaporeon has had a rough cut in the Pokemon forums. And that's really all he said. And the fact that that's the only thing he said tells me he's prolific in these fucking communities. Because just going down this rabbit hole, I have found out a lot about users and Vaporeon. I'm about to start a coalition, right? I'm about to start a campaign for the rights of Vaporeon. Because this shit isn't affairs what these people are doing online. So, yeah. Now, for a more comical side of things, I came across a list where they pretty much rank Pokemon by how queer or gender fluid they were. So this one's actually from www.out.com, so you know it's gonna be good. 21 Pokemon who are totally, absolutely, definitely queer. I don't make the rules, but if you like Pokemon as a kid, you're probably queer now. Yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. What the fuck, dude? I mean, I love Pokemon, but I'm pretty straight. I did kiss a guy in high school on a bet. I was at an ice skating rink, and this girl Sammy bet me that I wouldn't kiss Craig Hughes on the lips for a Monster can, and I was 14. And I was like, no, man, I'll kiss Craig for Monster, just a kiss, and I kissed him on the lips and got a Monster. Did nothing for me, but like, you know, this is not a ranking or even a complete list. Most Pokemon are kind of queer, except Rhydon. He's cishet as fuck. But here's a collection of some of the franchise's most certifiably LGBTQ plus creations. And it starts off with Bulbasaur, my favorite Pokemon, bro. You better treat Bulbasaur with respect. Don't do my man's dirty. Bulbasaur is either a plant daddy or a vegan lesbian, but either way, she's your favorite plant-loving queer who is here to tell you why pulling out of the Paris Accord was a mistake. They also say Mother Earth a lot. First off, Bulbasaur can be a man too, right? Doesn't have to be a lesbian, okay? Let's remember that, okay? It's not a she, it's a they, until they specify. Given the Butterfly's long history of representing trans people, it's clear that Ash's Butterfree is a strong trans woman of the Pokemon world. On top of that, when you were playing Pokemon, Butterfree are also there to help your team out very early in the game, just like your trans brothers and sisters are at the forefront of the queer liberation. Bro, Charmander? What the fuck? Charmander has to be straight as fuck. Charmander, the baby gay. What the fuck? So soft and gentle. The way he whimpers, Jar Jar. You just know he loves his mom. And his little flame is clearly a metaphor for the burgeoning flamer he will always be one day. The one thing I like about this list is it's honestly satirical. Clefairy, we know that one's obvious. Cloyster. Why would Cloyster be? Cloyster is a grinning vulva, and we'll just leave it at that. I think that's a good place to leave that one. Okay, then you got a Ditto. Ditto is our genderqueer, gender non-confirming sibling, and we stand by the. Actually, out of all the ones on this list so far, I would say Ditto. Yeah, because no one knows what the fuck Ditto is. Androgynous as fuck. It can be anything. So yeah. What is this, dude? Evolutions. You can't label every evolution as like being like queer. There are so many categories in this queer community. What the fuck is a stone butch? A twink, I know what a twink is. I was called a twink once, and I didn't know what it was, and I had to Google what a twink was, and I was like shocked. I was like, huh, that's fucking crazy. So after this list, I kept going, and there's really not much there, but then I started finding myself onto forums, which is where everything started to get a lot more dark, and of course, Reddit was one of the main places for it. So this one starts off in r/confessions, and it is titled, I'm sexually attracted to Pokemon, and I cannot stop myself. I don't know what it is about Pokemon, but I would honestly have relations with 90% of them. I don't know why, but I find most Pokemon incredibly arousing. My favorite is Ditto, because it can transform into any other Pokemon. In its base form, it's essentially a living fleshlight. Fucking dead, bro. I'm crying. He said a literal fleshlight. It's insane. I wish I was an adolescent boy who started his Pokemon journey with a Ditto as my starting Pokemon. So that last line actually, like, it took away the humor for what I found with the fleshlight. It's just, for me, it's dark, like weirdly unsettling. Hentai Loving Bot, which is an insane username, said, damn, did you know that Vaporeon is the most breedable Pokemon? I've heard that, but in reality Ditto is. So you're a borderline zoophile. I guess so. I don't find animals in our world sexy, though. That exchange is enough for me to be like, what the fuck is going on in this Reddit fucking post? Okay, Jaguar said this has to be a troll post. Imagine you're having relations with a Magikarp, a Ghastly, and a Diglett. Dude's got a point. If you're saying 90% of Pokemon you would have relations with, I mean, unless those three are the ones that you left out, but I feel like there's a lot more Pokemon that just wouldn't make the cut. And let's point out that this guy's name is Pokemon Sensual Man. And so, like, his whole online identity is about this. So, dude has problems, but the fact that it doesn't look like a throwaway. and it looks like he's pretty active in this community. Midget Hunter 1488 said, I wish I was unalived so I could be a Quilava in Afterlife and breed a female Cyndaquil. What the fuck is going on here, bro? Like I said, it's a mix of like, you first start off, it's like hilarious, but then it just gets fucking dark. We have another r/confessions from a deleted user. It says, I'm sensually attracted to Pokemon. First one says, go on. And then down here you just have, but are Pokemon attracted to you? That's a fair point. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. Like, you might love them, but you think they love you, bro? With your weird, sensual heaven ass, bro? It's crazy. So now we have a post in r/the 10th dentist that actually outlines kind of how I feel about it. It's from user the Spoofy, I'm not too sure. People attracted to Pokemon are disgusting. Every time I'm mentioning that wanting to bang Pokemon is fucked up, it's always panned. I honestly believe that people who think Pokemon have human-like intelligence just wants to bang them or never seen any Pokemon before. To be clear, I'm not just getting mad at the furry shit, I'm talking about regular Pokemon. On every social media app I go to, there's always some fucked up people sensualizing Pokemon. There's a bunch of animal-like Pokemon such as Eevee and Absol being sensualized, and I see nobody finding this weird. And anyone who does not talk about it gets treated like a fool and gets antagonized with people talking about being attracted to Pokemon. That's where you lost me. I don't understand that. I think most people that I meet don't find Pokemon attractive and don't talk about banging Pokemon. We don't find ourselves in Pokemon banging communities. Here's the thing. The fact that you find yourself seeing this all on social media tells me it's because you're searching this stuff in social media, right? Like, you're being ousted by people in this community because you don't feel the same way because you have entered a community where that's what they talk about. The fact that this is just in the air for everyone to see, including children, and no one finds it as a problem is deeply concerning. Whenever someone brings up that they are uncomfortable about this, including me, they are immediately ridiculed. I can't look up Pokemon or Eevee on Google or YouTube without seeing some kind of sensualization. A fucking children's game should not be this painful to be a part of. Edit. I think I'm in the wrong here. This whole post was about me getting mad at trolls and being emotionally vulnerable. I was trying to make this about people who bring sensual topics into everything, but honestly, I was just swinging at nothing. My bad. Okay, so you had a complete walk back there. I agreed with like half of this. It is a children's game, right? These are essentially animals. You should not be finding them attractive. The characters are children. You should not be finding them attractive or wanting to do anything with them. But this poster is finding themselves in that community because that's what they're searching for. So it's... I don't understand why you surround yourself with these people and then be like, this is crazy, and expect to have like something normal. Like right here, obviously, they were completely attacked by this post. Where they actually got to the point where they were like, no, I'm not talking about Pokemon. It's just Pokemon. This is a metaphor for why do people always have to bring up, you know, that topic into everything, right? Like, I was actually talking about OnlyFans. Wasn't even talking about Pokemon. Pokemon was a metaphor. Like, no, dude, you were talking about Pokemon because it was weird. You just happened to post it in a community which is searching this stuff and consuming this type of material. Stand on your ground, dog. Come to our side, because there's more people over here that are going to be like, no, you're right. This is fucking weird. So now we come across another post from r/TooAfraidToAsk, which you already know. It's from Tata Furry Throwaway, and the title is it weird to jack off to Pokemon or furries? Yeah. You don't even need a fucking Reddit thread. Ask one person. Yeah. A little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna write this out and see if it comes out poorly. I'm sorry. So basically, I was kind of dicking around, no pun intended, on Rule 34 some nights ago, and I came across some Pokemon content, and I got really excited. So I went down the rabbit hole of Pokemon content. Then I finished to the Pokemon's content. But would this make me weird or a furry? Now I can say, at least at the moment, I don't think I'll ever buy or make $1,000 fursuits or whatever and just go out in them. But goddamn, that Pokemon content really got me. What the fuck? And what's weird is I don't even like furries as a fan base. Sorry mods if I was supposed to tag this with NSFW, it really doesn't say anything about that in the rules. So I think it's just a rule of thumb to not post things like this. I mean, come on, bro. Like, it doesn't matter if you're buying furry costumes or not. I mean, I think it's just getting excited and off on that type of content is kind of weird, and it's like being into animals, but whatever. Any sensible female would see that as weird, so I'll keep doing it if you never want to get laid. Facts. Nothing is weird anymore. You can find a group of people with similar kinks in practically anything. Yeah, that's true, but it doesn't mean it's not fucking weird. As long as what you're doing isn't harming anyone, if you do it with other people, they're consenting adults, enjoy it. Fuck it. I mean, I agree with that one, dude. As long as everything's consenting, you're not hurting anybody. It's weird, but fuck it. Whatever makes you happy, right, man? No one cares, dude. Hell, in my state, content of any kind is illegal. 0% enforcement except for anything involving kids. Man, that's fucking brutal. The state where, like, it's just all content is completely banned is... yikes. It's weird, but why not? Do what you want. This is a weirdly supportive chain for this. I mean, in Too Afraid to Ask, I thought this dude was gonna get absolutely roasted. Absolutely roasted, but he was not. We have a beautiful post from r/hypothetical situation titled, "Would it be morally wrong to have consensual intercourse with a Pokemon?" I don't think any type of relation with a Pokemon would be consensual. I don't think animals can consent, right? We're not talking Nurse Joy, right? Now, Nurse Joy, I get it. Consent from an animal is not something that is actually a thing. Steve Bobby says, okay, follow-up question. Does the Pokemon Hospital repair a Pokemon's psychological damage after being assaulted? That's exactly the point. Exactly the point right there, my man. Nurse Joy, what brings you to the hospital today? Pika, Pika, Pika. Points to a place on a tall, sad Pikachu. I love that, man. Just a Nurse Joy talking to a Pikachu. Now show me where the bad trainer touched you. My god, this dude... hopefully this guy has no access to actual Pokemon. He shouldn't even be able to play the games, to be honest. He's probably sick on that Game Boy. Hey man, even Pokemons have their needs. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Honestly, it depends on the Pokemon and how smart they are. Didn't happen in the canon history. Alright, here's the thing about this comment, right? Guy says, honestly, it depends on the Pokemon and how smart they are. That is not a good statement to read or hear from somebody. He's pretty much relating it to, like, if they were a minor or a kid. Well, you know, yeah, they're young, but they're really mature, right? Like, justifying it in such a realistic manner makes this comment incredibly dark. You know, it's, again, that's a predator mentality, right? Tom641 says, that's a whole debate waiting to happen. Really? Some Pokemon are probably intelligent enough for that. Mostly psychic types. Bro, there is no fucking Pokemon that is going to be intelligent for that. I don't care what you're fucking saying, dude. I mean, dude, even Mewtwo, I don't think could consent to that fucking situation. Now, if Mewtwo thought you were gonna do that to him, he would just, like, rip you in half or something. But dude, like, these are Pokemon. And they're trust these trainers, right? That's an abuse of trust. This is essentially like an institutional situation, a teacher-student situation, my guy. The fact that you had this whole paragraph talking about, like, oh, maybe. Nah, I'm not trying to fucking hear that. Communication of consent would be a bit of an issue for most Pokemon, though, since they can't normally speak English. Bro, they're fucking Pokemon. They're essentially animals. The game, you were essentially catching animals in the woods and then Michael Vicking them against other fucking trainers. That's essentially what Pokemon is. So this is the part where my search got a lot darker on Reddit. It wasn't just, like, playful trolling Pokemon posts, but real hardcore communities based around fetishizing Pokemon. And not only that, but including art, images, videos of Pokemon shenanigans, if you will. What didn't dawn on me, that started to dawn on me when I started going through these, was it's not just Pokemon, it's the characters. And these in-game characters are like children, right? They're like 10, 11, 12. I don't know, they're not really exact with ages, but they're fucking kids. And that's where everything got, like, really dark for me. Now, I'm not actually going to click into these because I don't have to. We're going to go over some Reddit names and some of the possible titles, but it's really, really for you to get a vibe of how many communities are out there and how fucking dark they get, man. So the first one right here is Pokephyla Roleplay, and it's F4M, which is female for male. Penny just can't resist the opportunity to get her poor womb, and I'm not even going to finish it. Bro, what the fuck, man? Like, that's fucking weird to me. And it includes artwork, right? So it's artwork to show you what's happening. There's another community, r/feral Pokemon content. And the post that's showing is Mischievous Pikachu, male for male. They get so fucking dark on these things, man. You have r/Pokemon NSFW25. Galarian Pokegirls Part 2. Bro, these are fucking kids, man. Right? These characters are fucking kids. Poke content, and I'm exchanging content for the P word. Rule 34, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I've heard of it in this whole fucking deep dive that I'm getting into. Goon off to anime, and it's Marnie and Gloria. Dude, it's fucking crazy. The amount of actual communities that are dedicated to this is wild, and they actually have some pretty fucking deplorably disgusting images. When I first think about Pokemon weirdos, I think of like that 35-year-old balding giant anime guy cuddling up to a fucking Misty pillow, you know, alone crying type dweeb. But it actually is a lot darker than that. There's whole communities, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are sensualizing and fetishizing Pokemon and the child characters in the games, which is actually fucking insane. So if you're ever interested, hop online and see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see the things that I can't show here, but I recommend you just don't. But yeah, that's why I love doing these internet videos, because you just come across the fucking craziest things. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Appreciate you guys